So this is Provo City Center Temple. There's a store behind that. It used to be just a tabernacle type gathering center for concerts and stuff like that. Burned down except for the walls, and then they restored it into a temple. And I remember that. This is part of the spiritual preparation. Wherever I go, I find a temple nearby and I go inside. I don't know if you've ever been curious about the temple. I've heard all the stories too. I know what other religions say about it. I'm fully aware of it. But we do a lot of the work for the living, and a lot of work for people that have passed on, our ancestors, relatives, people who have never been baptized or heard of the name of Jesus Christ, or never had a chance to learn about it or receive the gospel. Then that's our way of presenting that gift as an opportunity for them to accept it. Overall, it's the plan of salvation, just refreshing that perspective. The Garden of Eden and the fall of Adam and Eve, and the purpose of a Savior. So, and then our individual commitment to Jesus Christ and our connection with Him is that He is the way, the truth, and the life, and the gate. And through our commitment with Him, we're able to enter into the gate, into the Holy of Holies of the back to our Father in heaven. That's, in a nutshell, that's what it is. Just look up Moses' tabernacle, the Temple of Herod and Temple of Solomon, and just look up exactly what goes on in there. I'm not a Mormon. We're not. It's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which means I am a Latter-day Saint. And essentially, I'm a saint living in the latter days in Jesus Christ's church. So that's essentially what that means. But I love the temple. Super, super peaceful inside. And our goal is to make our homes, our personal homes, feeling like a temple. There's temples everywhere. They're all around the world. And our priority is our family, ancestors, people who haven't received the gospel, to reach out to them, who's never heard of Jesus Christ. I mean, that's our top priority. All these other civil and government things that I was mentioning earlier, all those things are pretty trivial compared to the priority of helping bring ourselves and also other people to Jesus Christ. And the reason why I'm going off on this is because it's a part of the future that's coming. You can see it happening. And this is the spiritual base that I have, and I do my best with it. I'm not perfect. I'm subject to temptation and weaknesses, and so in order to go into the temple, I have to at least keep a certain standard. But it doesn't mean I'm perfect. It means if my heart is willing and I repent often as I can, try to improve, and that's the general feeling and the general idea. And there's no way anybody could be perfect in this world, especially how influential it is. But I just wanted to share this little piece of my life. It's a huge part of my life. That's why I wanted to get some footage of it and talk about it a little bit. And because normally on my channel you don't get that. I mean, this other things that I do in my life. So, but this is a huge one, big part of it. and just take some perspective in the latter days to understand what the Lord's doing with his people. And this is essentially the Temple of Herod and the Temple of Solomon restored, but it's a little bit different from the Old Testament temple because we're in the New Testament now, and so there's a lot of similarities, but there's a lot of symbolism that points to the second coming of Jesus Christ. The Old Testament temple was the first coming of Jesus Christ, teaching us about that, and this sheds some light on the second coming. Well, I just got out of the temple and I spent a good time in the celestial room just pouring my heart out to God. It was probably for an hour sitting there. That's what I do a lot. Never been inside this building. So I guess that's a kind of a visitor's place or something, with the Christus, with the resurrected Jesus standing there. So we're headed into some times where we need more and more spirituality and connection with Jesus Christ, and everybody has their own way of doing that, but certainly helps a lot.
Dedicated August 21st, 1892. It's like a school church thing. Oh, Oregon Trail interpretive marker.
Interpretive.
What does that mean? I think it's cool that they have it set up. Old Oregon Trail is what that says. Like, see, original houses with the outhouse. All of them, all the houses have that. Well, most of them. I've always wanted to make a log house, legitimate one. That would be hard work, but so this is the whatever you call ghost town kind of what, Chesterfield. Okay, so it's all around us, and I've never seen something like this. Chesterfield, Idaho. And the reason why I'm intrigued with it is because all these houses still have the outhouses with it, and I've always had questions back then, what they did back then, how they, go to the bathroom, and you always hear about that, but I've never seen it like set up like this. Like each of these houses have the original setup, and I guess some people are kind of remaking it, or this is one of the log houses or something. Tithing house is what Scott said, but so I guess they put windows in it and stuff. But this has like a dirt grass roof. Moss growing on it. So this is the foundation of rocks and cement. I am a fan of log houses though, because one thing I learned about them is that I always wondered about like when weather gets really hot, how do they deal with it without air conditioning and stuff. But I went to a film shoot and they had log houses, and I was dreading the day because it was going to be a hot day. And then right in the middle of the day when I walked into the log house, it was super cool inside, like a cave. And that was it. I was like, well, this is how they did it. It was like amazing feeling. And so they just have amazing insulation, and this dirt adds to it. Like, and this is a little legitimate outhouse I've never seen before, so that's totally awesome. Legitimate. I'm not gonna get footage inside that, don't worry. I don't know if people use it. So I just kind of imagine that. So it's off grid, but you have to walk out into the cold during the winter if you want to use it. And I've kind of experienced that in my $5,000 house situation. So my goal is to get an off-grid toilet, and you can use composting toilet idea, incinerator toilet idea, but you could actually put it in a part of the house and it's okay. People have to deal with and people have questions about smell and stuff, and composting toilets are not as bad as people think. And they actually have a room attached to the house that they go to, so it's still temperature controlled. But my efforts is for an incinerating toilet, and I'm going to see how that works, because they'll just incinerate everything, and so you don't have to walk out into the cold, but still be off grid. Looks like some original log cabins over there. I want to see if this water works. Piped in. Well, that's disappointing. I heard it. They probably turned it off or something. Anyway, that's cool. There's a whole freaking town. I think people are making Airbnb houses out of them. So you can check it out. So we were just over there. I am getting a close-up of this original log cabin. I actually like this more than a museum that has been redone, because this shows more of kind of like a history of it. I don't know, it just intrigues me to see how it was left, and instead of it all done up again, and how small it is. Gosh, let's say that's like a lot smaller than my garage living space. Gosh, it just makes me think of how they just how they lived. Like during the winter, they never went out. They just kind of, I don't know, they just spent time inside. Interesting. I don't know why the door is so short. Like under 5 foot or 5 foot or something. Could have been for animals. That's probably what it was. It's pretty cool. I get intrigued with it. Some people think when the power grid goes down, we're going to go back into the 1800s like this, but my goal is to be off grid. If the power goes down, we still have the same comforts that we have today. Off-grid power, off-grid. Don't have to use a composting toilet, outhouse, or anything. But it's still intriguing on seeing how they did stuff back then. So we are just over there. I'm back at this house that we started with because this roof just just intrigues me. And then I saw this chimney, so I bet the fireplace is on this side. A lot of thermal mass with the rocks. So interesting how they did that. Yeah, Scott was saying that the people that settled this place, this is most likely a tithing house where members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints would come, and they would give a 10% of their I don't know, whatever crop or livestock or something, and they keep it, and this is where they would keep track of it. I think that's the idea anyway. I think. I don't know if you can actually see in there or not. Yeah, it's an old suitcase, an old trunk with original rope beds. I don't know if you can see that. These windows look like my windows in my $5,000 house garage. I know how to do these windows. Same design and everything. Same slope, same kind of thing. Interesting. So this brick actually reminds me of my own house. A $5,000 house. Like, it's the same deal where I could just break it in my hands. And my house was, this is established when was it established? 18 something? 1890. So 1890, and my house was built in 1898, I believe. So around the same area. So that's what I'm seeing, some similarities. Holbrook Mercantile General Merchandise. It's got a cool little gas pumps. I don't know if those are just the original or they just put them there for decoration.
I don't think they had cars in 1890.
I don't think they did. I don't know if they put them there later or...
They were from the future.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Well, there's some kind of foundation that they're sitting on with pipes and stuff, so That's a curious thing. I don't know what that is. There's like, yeah, it's like embedded.
Yeah, that may have been an update at one point.
Yeah, updates from something. That's cool though. It's like that one went there. Oh, there you go.
That's probably how they refilled the underground tank.
Oh, I was wondering what that was. Lang Welding, Salt Lake City. Probably was filled with rocks. Probably is. I guess it's oh, I guess it is a museum. Like, they've got their little ride along hayride cart thing. I get it. I'm starting to understand it. It's a full brick house, the rock foundation similar. Similar across the way, so we're thinking this is probably the tithing house area. One of those two houses. I don't know. There's those brick houses we were just at, and then there's this old original house probably, and it's really muddy. Feels like I'm sinking in. Gosh, this has been untouched for a while, but it still reminds me of my $5,000 house construction. Same kind of like the shingle used as like a vapor barrier type thing. I don't know what they were thinking, but the boards. This is probably, I don't know, with the chimney in the middle, same deal. Did you get inside there?
Yeah.
Oh. Let's see if I can find a door. I don't know, this thing's gonna fall in at any moment. Oh yeah, Lath and Plaster. That looks familiar. This looks like the inside of my main house right now. Like almost exactly. It's probably a bedroom with a spring mattress. This might have been built later. I don't know. Pantry area. Electricity coming through. Looks like wires, like my house too. Yeah, wallpaper, modern. Oh, I had it upstairs too. At least the attic. Light switch.
Nope. Try it.
No, it doesn't work.
This old linoleum or whatever this was.
Oh yeah. Yep, it does remind me of what I pulled up in my house. Wonder if there's 1920s magazines under there. Nope.
So cool.
This is the same kind of plaster that I pulled out of my house and then put on my driveway.
Wallpaper still on. That's amazing.
Interesting. Yeah.
The print's faded a bit, so I guess I'd say if you want a good print, give me a call. Vivid Art Printing.
I'll put a little ad on the bottom there for you. Yeah, my house, I remember, had like 4 or 5 layers of either paint or wallpaper. And that's what I had to deal with, like decades of layers and layers and layers. Like I counted like 4 or 5 just layers on top, including the floor. So there was like 4 or 5 layers of like people renovating. So I had to make a decision to just be the person to tear it all down so that you can kind of start over with it fundamentally. That's why people gave up on my house, because it was getting too overwhelming to try to fix it. So that's why I had to make the decision to get to the bones of it and do it from almost from the beginning.
What do you figure they would have used that for?
The electric box?
No, like just the gap area between these two.
Oh. Oh. Huh. Trap door or a escape? Oh, that's very interesting. I have no idea.
Firewood.
Yeah. Firewood. This could have been one of these could have been an add-on later or something, and they kind of like looks like 2 separate.
Yeah, that was like the original, and the way the roof ties in, it looks like this is all
Something else, yeah. Because they have a fireplace up there, or chimney, and then another chimney. But I do like the idea of making like little trap doors and stuff as I'm renovating. Maybe escape hatches or something. Hidden storage areas, that'd be funny. With the chicken coop. Must be. So there's a pile of bricks and looks like the old chimney type stuff that are thrown out. Reminds me of my house, because I did this too. You can see some burnt marks. It's too much work to try to get rid of this, so you just kind of pile it up. That's what it looks like to me anyway. A couple more piles. Animal shed or something.
Oh, you don't usually find these.
What is that?
This is an old. This is the old satellite dishes that they used to use back in the
What?
turn of the century.
What are you talking about? There's like heating element in there. Is that a heater?
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. That would have been a heating element for whatever animals they had.
Huh.
Because it gets cold up here. A lot of snow.
I bet. Interesting. Can learn so much. I love this feeling though, just that rustic. You could feel the history in that. That's what I want to try to preserve in my house, is like that feeling. That'd be cool. I can get it there. It's the full side of one of the structures here. I love this wood though. People pay freaking money for this. Like this whole, like some people could recreate this stuff, but holy crap. Just this wood right here. Yeah. You could make a hearth or... We were just over there and we found this like parameter of a foundation. This looks kind of like a barn that burned down or something, because it's got like this stuff too, man. People buy this stuff. Like wagon.
Yeah, not even a wagon. There's a goat.
Holy cow. Yeah, farm thing. Harvester, whatever you call it. Gears. That is just cool stuff. Yeah, people like that stuff. And this is just sitting there on the ground. I don't know what this is.
Goosen.
Goosen? Oh. Like this old hinge. It's just character. No idea what some of this stuff is, but pulley. Maybe this was some kind of... Whoa! It's kind of another foundation area, so maybe it was a room. Oh, that's cool. Milk jug for cows or something. Yeah, there's another foundation thing. There's like chambers, rooms or something. Another one. Something is buried. Machinery. A smithy. Oh, there's a hub for a wagon wheel. Oh, that's so super cool. Way better than a museum. I love these little discoveries. The hub of the wheel, and then
Little WD-40, it'll be fine.
park brake. I guess. That's so cool though. Man, that is just decor. People pay for that stuff. I wish I knew more about this, but I don't recognize a bunch of stuff. Oh well. Leaf Spring Shacks.
I just love this landscape. This is in Idaho, in the valley of going from, there's Logan down south, that's where I'm headed to, and then all the way like an hour north of there. I can't remember what highway this is, US 91 or something. So I just love the landscape. Every time I drive through this, so I was visiting my friend Scott for a while, and we get to talking about various things, and it just kind of what's going on, the movement's going on. People are moving, relocating for various reasons. Sometimes it's just to be in a different area, find better opportunities, whatever it is. But sometimes people are moving because they feel a little bit of unrest or a desire to be in a better place that feels better than the coastal cities. I don't know how else to put that, but there's a general movement moving out of California and into the states nearby, like Montana, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, and then going inland towards the center of the continent. And so people have their various reasons, but it could be cost of housing, that's a major one, and then the vulnerability of coastal cities too. But this area that I'm looking at is just, if I had the means, I would probably move. I would get a property here or something, but there's nothing but farmhouses and nice areas surrounded by these beautiful mountains. I love this area. The winters, they're not too fun sometimes because they last a little longer than you'd want. I would say it's similar to Iowa. You could do it. I don't like it that much. But some people are moving to Iowa or wherever. It's worth it to them because just the expenses and kind of they don't like their environment, so they want to move, and it's worth it to them. They'd rather face the cold and adapt to that than to face that. So you have to get creative, and it kind of ties together with my housing crisis type topic. And the idea behind why I was researching my home or properties and finally got to my home, because my own housing crisis situation. So I was able to just live with certain conditions because it was getting becoming free financially that way. So more people are thinking of that and strategizing, and so, you know, house prices are going up. Some people's homes and properties are going up in value, so it's good for them. For buyers, it's not the best, but it is if you find other locations that the house prices are lower, which is usually the case from California to anywhere else. So you can, with all of that said, you can kind of get a picture of why people are relocating to different areas, researching different areas. And I'm doing that myself. But I talk to my friends' family, and they're more interested in finding a piece of land somewhere, making it work, building a little cabin or a shed or anything that they could live on, tiny house. And that directly ties into exactly what I'm doing. I want to make it, I built my tiny house shed and my little living space in my garage, and this is an example of what more people are doing as they relocate. And my goal is to have these self-contained, self-sufficient, off-grid, just a little tiny house cabin thing where you have the comforts of home. That's the idea. So it takes a lot of effort and research to get there, but in all of my videos, maybe I should condense down a video with my tiny house or something, but it'll eventually have self-sufficiency with an air well concept to a gravity-fed system with a reserve tank on top, and then just gravity-fed system with your sink, your shower, your toilet, your bidet, your whatever, and then with a little bit of electricity will take care of everything. So it sounds awesome, and I feel like I'm almost there, but with everybody thinking about it, these ideas, then perhaps you could come up with your own. I probably said these things before, but I keep talking about it because it's incredibly interesting to me. I just get obsessed about it. But I love talking to people and seeing what their ideas are and what they're planning on doing. But it seems like everybody that I talk to is thinking in similar ways.